I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, what's going on? Happy Monday, folks. Welcome to the Ellis panel alive today on this Monday. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm
Good.
feeling
How
the
are you?
energy.
Yeah, me too.
Good. We're so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the after show for Supersoul Conversations by Oprah. We're focused on the 2020 Vision Tour, Your Life in Focus. And today, Michelle Obama, well, we're going to be talking about the conversation that Oprah had with Michelle Obama. And this is Supersoul Sit Down. And today, we have a special guest, none other than Bootz, Durango.
Hey. Hi, everyone. It's so soulful to be here.
Oh, I love
Soulfully
that.
splendid. That's the word I would use.
Yes.
A little alliteration in there.
I love it. So glad to have you. And then,
Thank
of course,
you.
you guys know I'm Jaimi Alexander. Super excited to be here and happy to be hosting. And, of course, to my left, co-host, the beautifully spoken Haley J.
What's up, guys? Can I just say the energy right now as soon as you walked in is like, we were talking about we're tired, and now we're like, not anymore. We're ready to go. We're ready to go.
Yes, let's do it. And clearly we're ready to go because we match unconsciously.
Seriously.
Yeah, we look
I
good.
love
It is a vibe.
The snatch.
I love what you guys have going on. It's amazing. Okay, so great. So, Supersoul. So, Bootz, I know you didn't hear all of the whole podcast, but that's okay because everything that they talk about are just life topics. So,
Okay.
Haley, I know you heard it. What did you think of the podcast overall with Michelle?
At first, I was just thinking what a powerhouse of women and how much I would have wanted to be in that audience. Michelle Obama, for someone that has, so much credibility and so much power, she still seems so much like Oprah, so approachable, so easy to talk to, someone that I think I could tell a secret to, and I know that I could just confide in her. She's got that type of personality, and I love everything she stands for, honestly. And she's very honest and truthful.
And she was funny. Like, I want to hang out with her.
Well, she was realistic. She was like, yeah, especially when she was talking about her kids being out of the house. She's like, hell yeah, I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
Like, that's refreshing to hear.
I mean, wouldn't you if you got to just you and Barack
And Secret Service.
Yeah, I mean, Secret Service. Yeah, I definitely thought it was very insightful. Again, she felt very, all due respects, because she's, older than me, of course, but she still gave me homegirl vibes, which was like, I want to sit, she's Auntie Michelle. Like, I want to sit down with her. I could totally have a full conversation and learn something. And,
Like, maybe get her arm workout.
yeah. And she does. She talks about all those works out. She had some really good points about that. So, so her book Becoming was the best-selling memoir of all time. I have yet to read it, unfortunately, but I will. I will get to it. But I like the way she talked about liking her own story. Mm-hmm. So, Bootz, I'll ask you.
Sure.
We've all been through so many things in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when do you get to the point where you go through your story and you actually like it and you're not like, this happened to me and this happened to me, but you're like, you know what? I received this for what it was.
Understood. It's when you convert victimized energy into something that is productive, and the realization that everything that you've gone through sets you up to win in ways that you haven't won before. So when you embrace those two philosophies, life becomes almost like, oh, I'm happy for this lesson. I'm happy you walked out of my life. Or you can look at it from a perspective of, I dodged a bullet, or this is supplementing the vibration I want to have to get to where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree completely. Because even when I heard it, like in my story, there were parts of my story I used to hate, but once I found the value in them, and I'm like, oh, but wait, this can help somebody. And I'm glad I went through it, because now when I speak to these people, I'm coming from a real place. I'm not just trying to sugarcoat.
And one of the biggest things or stories I tell my clients, you met me when I was in LA the last time, and we were all struggling, girl.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Like,
Okay.
it was a different, yes.
When I tell you, when I went back home, every last one of those jobs, down to the job that we worked together, has supplemented my business. And because of that, I have that philosophy ingrained in me now. Every single thing you go through supplements a bigger picture. So that's what I embrace. And that's what makes me, accept it easier than just, okay, I'm tortured by this.
Correct.
Well, and we talk about, you're going to believe someone that has gone through something so much more and relate to them so much more than someone that, they don't know what they're talking about if they haven't lived that struggle. So, yeah, your story, ultimately, as cheesy as it is, it gets us to the exact moment we're in right now, whether or not we understand it while we're going through it. But it is so essential.
I completely agree with you, friend.
Yes. So with that being said, this kind of goes hand in hand. What do you guys think about, because Michelle was talking about how the current climate speaks down on us being self-reflective. How powerful do you find self-reflection?
I personally think it's everything, because sometimes I don't even know what my mind is doing until I silence it to figure out what my own thoughts are saying. We're going through the day. There's so much being thrown at us with social media, through our job, through our friends, through the pressure to even, we were speaking about just the pressure of showing up for other people other than ourselves all the time. So I think you need those moments to check in with yourself, because, I mean, we're in the genre and generation of focusing, I think, on mental health more than ever before.
It's necessary.
And if that's going to help people stop committing suicide and stop, you know, creating awful shootings and things like that. Yeah, like if I don't see how you can criticize someone wanting to work on themselves in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right. Well, to bounce off of what you're saying, self-reflection is extremely pivotal for me because I always deal with everybody else's energy. So when I unplug, again, for people who don't know, I'm a celebrity psychic, and I'm always working from 9 to 5. I'm reading tarot, and then I go live at night and service the public with my abilities. So I've gotten a regimen of when I go off of live, I unplug to the point where it's just me and all of the creatures that are in my head, and we're having all this banter. But then I plug back in, and it's always being of service. To the point of what Michelle Obama said, you know, is looked down upon to self-reflect. Yeah, because we're encouraged to put all of our business out there. Like you said, social media, you know, you don't really self-reflect, you express. And then your self-reflection becomes tweets back at you. Well, that's a sick way to live if you ask me. Yeah. You're going to have to have time.
Is it hard to silence the voices in your head?
Not no bipolar stuff, nothing like that, but
but all the distractions and the thoughts.
I think it's difficult for anyone in the 21st century.
Absolutely.
But I guess my meditative practices and some of the things that I burn will get you there.
Whatever are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. Sage.
Sage. We love Sage.
I mean, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You do.
You know?
And you roll up what you gotta roll up.
You roll up what you gotta roll up. This is Cali, so we roll out here.
And you wanna know what's weird, not to get too off topic?
Yes.
You know, weed is legal out here. Marijuana's legal.
Yeah.
Every person that I've had a booty call with, not that I've had a lot, has not smoked.
Oh, I'm shocked. I don't understand either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll put a pin in that one because that's different.
Should have put a pin in my butt before you left my house. Go ahead.
Now, I love how you brought up service because ding.
What's that mean?
That was just, that was the ping.
That was the ping?
That was the ping.
Okay. That was, okay. Cool. Sound effects. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan's cute.
So, I like towards the end of the podcast how Oprah asked Michelle, what's her superpower? And she did mention that it was making people feel seen, which I loved, relevant, whole, and her 2020 vision is to be a person of service. And you spoke about service. So when it comes to service, like, how did you find the balance of using your God-given gifts to be of service to others and make a living doing it?
Understood. Well, I think that initially I wasn't. I was out for self and I failed miserably. It's interesting how spirit uses you in certain type of ways. And, I am omnious, so I believe that what everybody else believes is correct, But for me, it was going broke, failing miserably at trying to be the boy girl Beyonce in LA in a world that didn't understand my gender, didn't understand the way that I portrayed myself. And when I was doing things selfishly, I want to be seen. I want to be number one on the Billboard charts. I want to be the best. It didn't work. It was that random day where I got told that I had to change the way I looked to get a certain job. And I said no, and I was crying my eyes out. I went into my garage and started reading my tarot cards. And that day somebody said, I'm going to give you $50. Light bulb went off in so many different ways.
Ooh.
So many different ways. Like, okay, I helped her, and then she wants to pay me. Okay, so you're paying for my time and not for what I'm able to do for you. I understand now. That missing link is what fixed it for me, being of service. Now, of that, the service is free. Your time is not.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so you have to kind of charge based upon your value. And that came along with accepting new income for yourself. I mean, I never thought that I would get $50 donated to me on reading a random tarot card online. Then Spirit said, okay, this is what you have to do. Right. And so I just lived in that space.
How did you first realize that it was more than just reading a card, but you were actually feeling a connection and energy?
Well, I've always been psychic. I was born an orphan. So for the first 8 years of my life, life, it was very hard to keep a foster family because of some of my abilities. I thought everybody did it at one point in time, and it wasn't until that last family said, no, you're crazy. Paranormal stuff is happening around you. You're saying stuff you ain't supposed to be saying, X, Y, and Z. When I went back, that's when the light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, I'm not like everybody else. Something's weird about me. Got adopted by a mom who's spiritual. She groomed the gift, so I was able to control it. Didn't really use it till I know. Yeah. Didn't really use it till college because I was trying to get some penis, and I turned it on, and I was able to kind of
interesting how you were kind of growing up believing that it was something that was wrong with you, and now this is your gift, and it's the ultimate thing that makes you who you
superpower.
Are. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. See, I love that. And, you know, something Michelle also mentioned in the interview was stop comparing your walk to other people.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I mean? If you love what you're doing and whatever, do it. If it makes you unhappy, don't.
And talking about when she was on the hike, that the only times she caught herself not enjoying it was when she was watching someone else.
Yeah.
And you can apply that to so many things in life. You could be so happy and think you're killing it and be killing it in your own life. And then you see something on Instagram, or you see someone that might look better than you or make you feel inferior for whatever reason. And then suddenly you're not as good as you thought you were. But it shouldn't be that way, you know?
It's such a humbling vibration. Comparison and me suck. I remember like going through college, and I always wanted to be in the image of someone who I admired. And it was like tit for tat at a point in time. And I'm always consistent like, what are they doing? X, Y. It took years to get over this. But when I did, again, light bulb. I keep talking about this light bulb. Do y'all have emojis y'all can drop? Give me light bulb emojis.
There we go.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well, I think that is coming with age and just accepting yourself and realizing that you're always going to find someone that you can compare yourself to. And if it's not someone else, it's comparing yourself to who you were years ago.
Right.
It never stops. So you just have to be present with where you are now and accepting
and be comfortable in the comparison. Like, they're doing this, I'm doing this, and it's okay.
And that's cool.
And trusting that your walk is different for a reason.
Yeah, and embracing that and being excited about it. Because I know a lot of people in this social media culture, and this is something you also talk about, feel very lonely, and anything that we can receive that makes us seem alike, like whether it's pain or authenticity or whatever it is, that's something that helps us. What do you guys think about the current climate of social media and how it really has people kind of lonely, and how that contributes to our loneliness?
I can understand firsthand.
Yeah.
You know, you go online and you get 300 people in there, and then you turn off the live, and all I have is my cat at home.
Right.
So sometimes you do battle that loneliness type of vibration. I've used social media to actually meet people in the physical realm, and I think that that is supplementing that vibration as well. But social media has developed a hive mind to where we're all feeding into it, but it doesn't have a consciousness or a physical body. So we're feeding into something that is basically propaganda. That's lonely.
Yeah.
You're giving your energy to something that doesn't really breathe or exist. So I can relate to it firsthand, but I'll tell you, I have the best clients in the world because I know I can pick up the phone right now and call any last one of them, and they'll be right there.
Yeah.
The only problem is I don't trust them. So it is, social media does perpetuate loneliness, but you have to supplement that loneliness with something that is beneficial. I write music in my loneliness.
Right.
You know, if you can learn the vibration, you can use it. What do you think?
I think it's what we talk about too, being responsible for the energy you take in, where you do have to keep in mind with how it feels when you're scrolling. If you're following people that make you feel bad about yourself, then let it go. So I think you can use social media to get, like, I get fashion inspiration, I get food inspiration, I connect with friends. It can be great, but I do have times where I'm like, I need called a social media SBD.
Break.
Like
I say a social media blackout day. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're not going to be on social media. When I find myself depleted by it, then I just cut it off and I like listen to what my mind is telling me.
Do you guys think it's an addiction for everyone?
Not everyone, but a lot of people.
But I can be addicted.
I am too.
I have to catch
And
myself.
especially
Yeah, me
when
too.
the jobs
Like-
demand you to, especially you to even show up live and talk to people.
Right.
You gotta do
it's
it.
a lie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Well,
have times where you completely
I've told
disconnect?
myself this year I'm going to start a tradition where it's 1 week out of the year I'm going to go to a random location. Nobody's going to know where I'm at. And I'm just going to cut my phone off.
Yeah.
And I don't
so
even want to
necessary.
document it. Like, the only thing I will document is like one picture out of the whole thing. I want the phone off. And I want to go with a boo.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I love that you brought that up because I was going to speak about that next.
talk.
And it was random, but since you said it, I'll say it now. Because, you know, Michelle talked about it, and she talked about how having a mate that shares your values is so important. Like, I'm single, you know, you're single too, right? And you're single?
Huh.
Yeah, what? No,
Yeah.
it's fine. So I love what Michelle and Barack have, and I love how she spoke about the importance of growing with somebody that shares their values. Sometimes when I think of like social media and how everything is, I'd be like, wow, it'd probably be much cooler to have a partner, I think.
Yeah.
I think I see value in that.
It's interesting for me.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Oh God, I'm about to confess some things on here. I have a fear of never finding somebody that's going to accept my quirkiness or every element of who I am. So what ends up happening is, this past, I guess, year or so, I dated a guy who utterly played me. And again, I'm psychic as hell, but I can't read myself for anything.
Honey.
Okay, so like I let him go along on a whim and do all this stuff. So after that, I got over it. You know, I'm rebounding or whatever, and I kind of stuck in that rebounding space where it's like, okay, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool. Come over whenever you get ready. You know, I'll call you, bring me something to eat. You know, but never really the going out on a date type thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, I live in Charlotte. That's the South, so it's a little bit different of perspective or whatever. But here, these people honking their horns at me, sis.
I know.
I had 4 Valentines.
Look at you. You're living. Can I borrow one?
Yeah, you can.
I was at the gym on Valentine's Day, okay?
But that's
That
where you
mug was
pull them at,
empty.
though.
It was empty. I was
Oh.
like, oh, now everybody got somebody? Y'all in here every day, but okay. It's
I got
awesome.
So
you.
why do you think you have that fear? Do you think you're getting closer to finding the person that
Yes.
accepts you?
I love that.
Do you read?
No. But I think just you seem like a very confident person.
Yeah.
So I think that in getting to know yourself more and as the years pass, you trust that you're going to bring in that right energy. And all the people that failed before are leading you. Like you said, to the
Exactly.
right person.
You're dope.
Can we get a... Yes.
Knock it out.
That's
No, yeah.
dope.
I mean, it's hard
agree.
to stay positive, especially if you
Yeah.
feel like you're like, damn, that one didn't work out too. And trust me, I've been single for like, I don't know how at this point,
Some
like how
years.
long ago is elementary school? But I just feel
Right.
like,
Dang.
no, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
that's
It
gonna
hasn't been
change.
that long.
Yeah.
But I'm also, I don't know, I'm fine with it because, I mean, I do have 2 dates coming up, but I'm also like, you just like, you know that you're good for yourself, so I don't feel like I need to be completed.
Well, I mean, I'm completed by myself.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
mind. And I keep telling my fans, they're like, what kind of guys you like? Light skinned and broke.
Clearly.
I mean, for real.
I mean, dang. We got late.
That's
Can
terrible.
we clear that today? Can we
But
clear the
I'll
spirit
tell
of-
you the truth. I do feel like it's getting closer because I affirmed it for this year. I affirmed a lot this year, and
wow.
so much has happened. Even this moment is a confirmation for some things. And my selection out here of people to choose from, like, we can have Enrique or them.
Yeah, so
After.
true. I love the excitement of knowing that you could go out any night and really anything could happen. Anyone
Anything.
could walk in.
Anyone.
See, but now my thing is getting out of the house.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Because it's, becoming more and more of a challenge to do that.
Well, if you are in the house, I mean, there are apps for everything.
That's true.
Try all of them. That's
And if
my
you don't want to
advice.
do the nighttime thing, you could do a brunch. or something.
Yeah.
I love a good brunch.
A brunch, and then coffee meets bagel is a nice tranquil one that don't show no penis or anything.
Yeah, I
remember that one.
spent some time last year on some, and it was, I get guys that are, the guys that I'm interested are not really interested in my type, or I get guys that are just like, too much.
Well,
and
you'll
I'm
be
like,
married in 3
whoa.
years anyway. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, 3 years I could do, because I still got baby time with that.
Yeah, but you still got a show to get to. That's 2 years from now, but 3 years from now you'll be married. So I'm not worried about you and attracting the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
I like this.
I received that.
But what
I just-
Michelle says also about being with someone with the same values, your values are what make you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're so not on the same page with someone, that's only gonna last for so long.
So basically you're saying I need to change my values. No more light skin and broke.
no, you need to find
knowing
someone
what
that's
they
on page
are.
with your values.
True.
You
Understood.
should never have, and I don't see you the type to change for anyone, by the way. But yeah, you just need someone that is right in the same wave.
Cool.
They're out there. I mean, it's LA, like you said. Enrique could be riding your wave tomorrow.
Surfboard.
Surfboard.
No, I love that, but I guess that would show the power of being self-reflective as well, because you have to know what your values are in order to
You gotta
even
know what you
attract
want
somebody.
to know what to ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was
Understood.
a real time where I was dating people because I thought that's what I wanted, but I was like, oh, I do want somebody who speaks more educated about these things or explores this or does that. It wasn't just that he was tall and fine.
Or
There was
some
more
type of
that I needed.
education, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, dating is like the sample platter. You want like
Yeah.
a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then you finally pick an entree, and you're like, this is what I want to eat.
Speaking
Appetizers.
of, I think I left my entree in the car last night. I wanted that steak.
That's
Oh, you
I would be
did?
so
Yeah.
sad.
Well,
forgot
you would
where
know
was
now. It
from.
probably smelled bad.
It didn't smell bad at all in the car today.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about a person.
No, we're talking about a real steak. The steak was really
The
good.
I thought you
actual
said he
food.
smelled good.
No, well, they all smell good, friend, but I was talking about a real steak.
Oh, okay. Love
Yeah.
steak.
We should go get steak after this, girls.
I'm down to
Can't
like,
today,
we need to
but,
do wine someday.
maybe in
Yeah.
the books.
We have
wine
to do
and
it.
steaks.
We'll book Bootz for.
Yeah.
You
For a
should book
date.
me anyway.
Yes.
SpiritSquad.org.
I
Let's
know.
go.
I love it. Yeah, spiritsquad.org. A little shout out to that. So I loved how Michelle in this talked about being successful in defining herself for herself. When it comes to your definition, how would you guys define yourself?
Work
I
in
mean,
progress.
that's very. I like that though. You know what I mean?
Defining myself, I think I'm just in the years of life, these last couple years of just complete learning and evolving. And I think I used to be kind of embarrassed to say like, oh, I like who I'm becoming. But no, I love who I am turning into. And I just want to keep reflecting and working on that. And just also knowing when, yeah, there's work that definitely still needs to be done. But I like the direction I'm going in, even
Love
to be able
that.
to stand back and see that work needs to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
I'm an evolving guide among mortals, and I'm helping them progress their consciousness.
That's what I was going to say.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was going to say. So we'll leave it at that. No, I'm just kidding. Well, because when it comes to defining, like that's something that becomes challenging for me because it's so.
Well, I think it changes, so I don't know
It
if I
does
put
change.
one
Yeah.
solid definition over it.
It
But I
can change
do-
day to day, too.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do like what you say about being a god because I have been thinking about that lately. Like I've been spending a lot of time in my mind almost separating the two because in some religion you learn like pray to God, but then if God is in me, how do I crystallize that relationship?
You pray to yourself.
Correct. But you know what I mean? Like in a certain way, so I've been kind of exploring that
It's an
lately.
interesting concept.
It's an interesting concept.
So there are certain beings blessed upon this plane that have energy that does not match normal people. And you can see them, they're the type that will like stand out, or you're just automatically drawn to somebody walking across the street. Like, have you ever walked across the street in Hollywood and they could be dressed regular and you just like, what? Something's going on with that
Yes.
person. I call them gods. I don't know what other religious text calls them, but I respect them for whatever they do call them. And I recognize that in myself. I think recognizing that manifesting ability within all of us, that creative genius in all of us, when we speak something, we're actually supplementing a vibration that brings back what we speak for. When we start recognizing that and we start waking other people up, we're giving birth to gods. The next thing you know, our entire society can change, which it kind of needs to. But,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, it starts with us. And I think that that's why I say I'm an evolving guide, assisting the world in progressing their consciousness.
And then do you feel fulfilled, obviously, when you see that maybe someone comes to you and they're struggling and you can really give them a message that they weren't, for whatever reason, able to see before?
Baby, last night, I was getting off the exit trying to get to the Airbnb. Baby girl was on the highway with her 3 children, homeless. I gave her $250 and I read her for filth. And she broke down crying. I got out the car. I hugged all them babies. You know what I'm saying? You know they had a smell to them, but it didn't matter to me at that
Right.
point.
You
'Cause
just felt the calling.
Yeah, and
Right.
you had to do that. Even with my clients, I cry in sessions with them all the time. You know, it don't matter who you are. I am so connected with that vibration to tell you the truth.
I think that's why when you were talking before about things not necessarily working out when you just wanted to make it and be, you know, known for like your looks or whatever it is, I think you found the thing that truly connects you to the right reason of
It's
doing
other
something.
people.
And now it's why it's all working
And
because that's your alignment. That's
It was
where
the
you should
missing
be.
link, friend.
Right.
I wasn't of service.
And
I'm
you,
sure
and you
it's
go
much more
in with the
fulfilling.
passion, for the right, I believe, reasons.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
I love this
Congratulations on
talk. Y'all
finding
do this
that.
every day?
We do it every Monday.
It's like
Every
therapy. It
Monday?
really
Yes.
is. And
This
like
is great.
talk about connecting. The first time Jaimi and I met was for the first time hosting this show, and we were
Okay.
just like, let's dive in and go. And that's what I love because you'll meet people all the time where you're like, oh, it was great on paper, but something's missing.
Right.
And especially with dating, that's how it's been.
It's an energy here.
Yeah.
Between the two of you guys. You
Well, you
complement
just-
each other very well.
You connect, and when you don't have to think about what do I say next, that's how I know I'm not vibing with someone. When
Yeah.
I catch myself thinking like, ooh, what do I say next? Like
Yeah.
you don't have that when you connect with someone.
You know what I
Yeah,
say?
I love
The
it.
F word. Can I cuss on here?
No.
Okay, never mind.
You're such
But
an
you can
angel.
like
But you
bleep
can
yourself out and
allude to
get to
it.
the
We're
same
grown.
thing.
You say what
You
for
can be like bleep
ass.
yourself out and like we'll still know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, Ryan, where's the bleep, friend?
There it is.
It's off timing, but we'll work on it.
We'll work on it.
Okay, cool. Cool.
But what were you gonna say?
I forgot now.
Oh, that's okay.
So let's keep on moving.
Yeah,
honey.
maybe you just wanted to curse a little bit. So let's see. Okay, so there's one last thing that Michelle Obama spoke about, and I think we can all talk about this. She talked about even her, as evolved as she is, as successful and everything, she still is very hard on herself. And one of the things she's hard on herself about is, are you really working hard enough? And you think the First Lady would, why is she even asking herself that? But I was really able to relate to that because I was texting a girlfriend yesterday and I just felt down because I'm like, I still get in moments of those modes. Like if I take an entire day off, I feel like, girl, you couldn't have done something. And even though a part of my mind really knows, like, take the day, it's not that deep, I still have things like that pop up that ask me if I'm working hard enough. Do you think this culture and society that we're in now, where it's like hustle, grind, and there's always social media, somebody's always doing something, perpetuates thoughts?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think if we were on an island by ourselves, we wouldn't give a damn. But because you go to Instagram and you see someone doing something great, you're like, I watched 3 movies today, which I've done. But then you might be not giving something in a service form, but when you think, I needed this for myself today, just like everyone else, whether they're documenting it or not, like you can post a photo of doing something great the next day and someone could have the same feeling thinking of you. So it can be hard. And I think our human nature is to get down on ourselves and always have moments of not feeling your best, but that's what it means to be alive. Like the best analogy I thought was the heartbeat going up and down. That means you're alive. You're not. That's so boring to have just like, even if you're constantly thriving, like that would get boring. Correct. That's why you see so many like successful people not being happy because you need substance.
Yep.
What do you think about it?
And work becomes your substance. I am extremely hard on myself when I take a break. Extremely. I mean, I had the flu and strep throat at the same time. I had to take 2 days off.
That's not even a break. You were sick.
Bro, it was just 2 days though. Like, and I was right back at it. I can't do it. And I think that it's a matter of ambition, natural ambition, that could be encouraged by the enviousness of social media. Okay, I'm sick looking at people on my phone do cool stuff, and and then I'm thinking like, okay, there's another psychic out there that's probably trying to steal my clientele right now. I need to go, like, so it's this constant battle. But I'll tell you, on year 4 of my business, I'm okay with taking a break.
Amen.
Yeah, and you can let that envious nature fuel you in a healthy, positive way, or you can let it break you down. So I think it's also finding the balance. Yeah.
And then also remembering what's for you won't miss you. So
whoa,
if a couple clients go, maybe it was their season.
I've also tried this prayer that's kind of scary because it's like, sometimes you don't want to know the answer, but I say, if it's not mine, please take it from me.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm like, no, but I actually do like him.
Who
but then
you praying to?
Right.
First,
then
who you praying to?
God.
Okay, because he will take him from you, that shit.
That's the thing, and then I have to accept that if you're gonna take him, then okay, I guess.
It's so interesting you said that. I did that with all of my connections this year.
That's so good.
So I post my magic online. I practice witchcraft and things of that nature.
And we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we can. And basically, this year I went into my cauldron and I asked the universe to remove all connections that were bad. Surprisingly, the closest people to me are no longer close.
Did you have any? Because you say you can't read yourself,
no,
so
I
you didn't
can't.
know that was...
I did not
How
know.
Fascinating.
I asked, in the next days when everything happened, multiple people exposing themselves, multiple, and I'm just like, okay, well, it's destined for me to be alone. And then I come to LA and I'm meeting really cool people and we're rekindling, and I met you, you're great, So I don't know, like, and I've tweeted this today, when people are let go of, or connections or things are taken from you, the universe will always supplement the energy. It has to go somewhere.
Nature
and it has to come
vacuum.
back.
And then you don't miss it when you're like, oh, this is why you took it, because something better could literally be around the corner.
Okay.
Where's Enrique at?
I don't know. And if he's not there, I have a little friend in my drawer. Drawer friends.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are hilarious.
Well, I think we covered that really well. And so I think we're going to have some fun on our news and gossip. So we're going to go in on some...
Going in?
Ooh, these sound effects are everything.
Okay, on the little news and gossip, we decided to dive deep real quick. And so we're going to let Bootz work his magic, and I know you're really good at telling what's going on in pop culture. Okay. And since we're doing this show about Oprah, we love Oprah. And her best friend Gail have been under some heat and some fire. So if you guys don't know, Gail King did an interview with Lisa Leslie, and it was barely a week and a half after Kobe had passed, and she started talking about the rape allegations that Kobe experienced back in 2003, and it caused an uproar because of the style that she asked, the timing, not being respectful of, you know, his remaining family, friends, and all of these things, and it was super touchy. So much so that Gail was getting death threats and things like that. I saw an interview with Oprah, and she was halfway in tears talking about how terrible her best friend is doing because she's now getting death threats and all of these terrible things for going in on Kobe's thing. So, just from a social perspective, maybe, I don't know, what's in the cards? Could you speak to
I can speak
what's
to the fact
going
that
on?
what's going on.
Yeah. So let's see.
So first and foremost, I think Gail was pressured to say what she said in terms of that. I don't necessarily feel like that was her authentic opinion. I mean, you know, it was anybody with a brain. The man just died. You know, we're not going to bring anything up like that. And I think it's something similar to when after Kobe had passed, there was a newscaster who used the inappropriate word.
She did.
And if you listen to the way that she was reading that, and it was written in script. I don't feel like all of that was Gail's opinion. I think it was the network's opinion reflected through Gail, and she took the heat for it. That's the first thing that I'll say. In terms of Oprah got her friend back, especially in a matter of public opinion. The Brandy card is upright, so she's basically trying to save her friend's face, and she's powerful enough to do that. So, of course, she's going to, whether it's an exaggeration or not, she's going to go up there and say, she's doing terrible. That way, the heat will be died down off of Gail from her audience perspective. We do have a hidden card right here. You want to flip that over?
Which one?
That one. You're helping me because my nail's too long. Brandon is upright. Okay, cool. So this is talking about reclusiveness. This also could be a ploy for Gail to take a break.
Maybe it's just time for that.
Okay. And this might be a break on her own regards because she might want to focus on her love life. Brandon and Brandy are together, and that's a couple in my tarot deck.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, things get kind of political in Hollywood, honey. You have to find ways out of contracts and stuff like that. And if the public don't like you, that's the easiest way to go underground.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the future, we'll know in the next 2 months as to kind of what goes down with this, but I think that there might be a ghosting of Gail King. Intentionally, not blackballed or anything like that. And I think that is the nutshell of it all, if I was to read it. Give me a round of applause, Ryan. Where is it?
Yeah, I love it. That was great. Thank you so much for helping us understand that intuitively. I love your deck also.
And the general public needs to lay off of my friend Ari Lennox. She said what she said, and her opinion echoes with a lot of individuals, not just her fan base. You know, so really listen to what she said, okay, beyond the adjectives that she called the people. She had a point.
Yeah, and I did see that, and I stand with Ari Lennox. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And so this will be a perfect time to dive into our Supersoul Poll. This is where Haley goes on her Instagram every Sunday and asks the important questions.
So Michelle talked a lot about living authentically, and of course we try to do that, being in alignment, and it might not be the easiest thing. I truly don't know if I always feel like I'm living authentically due to pressures, and I took it to Instagram to ask most people, do you believe you're living authentically, true to yourself? We had 71% say yes, with 29% saying no. So
I said yes.
Yeah, I think it changes and depending on where you are in your life.
They lied.
I said no.
You said no?
You said no, Ryan? How come?
I voted.
Yeah, Ryan, can we get your feedback as to why?
I just think sometimes when you don't have it all the way together, you kind of need to you have to be not authentic in order to just kind of be.
Got to put on a face sometimes.
I kind of relate. I kind of agree. I think that we change the lens in which we present ourselves.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I was like, but wait, that's natural and authentic for me.
So to me, I don't think that if I say, oh, hey, how are you? Or I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You know, I think both of them is authentic to me. You just have to change yourself based upon the circumstances, right?
I think we see that a lot in work, too, because, like, I know I'm not 100% saying the things I want to say.
But then your
at work.
coworkers will go home and say, oh, she's fake and all this other stuff, whatever.
Whatever. Give me a few months, and then I'm up in there telling y'all exactly what you could do and what you could do.
Facts.
Can only hold it for so long.
Big facts.
No, I love that. So I'm glad that most people feel like they're being their authentic selves. That's good to hear. Yeah, that's interesting. I thought a lot of more people would say no.
Yeah.
But hey.
They lying.
Like, plain and simple.
Not authentic.
Yeah, can you get the names of the... No, just like...
Right. The yeses are not authentic.
Right. Well, I love that. Thank you guys so much for that. So now we're just in our final segment, our special segment, Own Your Soul.
Your journey to become more inspired and connected to the deeper world around us starts right now.
So this is our special segment, Own Your Soul, where we talk about the things that we're going to change or information that we've learned that is going to help us evolve into our week. How are we going to transform and be bigger and better with the information that we've learned? Anybody want to start?
Well, can I ask that maybe, Bootz, can you tell us how, like, we want your response, but then what you would
Let's
think.
get a collective read.
Like, yeah, what the cards say. How we
Okay,
can,
do you want
what
one
we can
each,
work
or do you
on.
want me to just do one for everybody?
Let's do it each.
One each?
For all of us, each of us.
Okay, cool.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Jaimi,
each of us.
your focus this week is on evolution. I think you might have something that you've been brewing and you've been waiting on confirmation to get. This is Friday of this week. You get confirmation that you're actually moving forward with your idea, investment, or seed that you've planted.
Okay.
Okay? With yourself, the wild one is upright. Get out the house. That's basically saying socialize a little bit more or obtain different social circles. The wild one doesn't limit itself to exactly where they partake their social energy into. You might have an offer to go out to brunch with some people that you don't like, especially around Thursday, or some interesting people.
Wait, I have a date on Thursday, first date.
And she's never told me that she's had a date.
Okay,
I do have a date on Thursday.
There we go. So this is fraternizing with new people. Don't be afraid. Just be yourself.
Okay.
Cool. And for myself, spirit. Oh, this is the card of living authentically, ironically.
Wow.
So basically, this is basically saying I have a lot of big things this week, so just be myself.
I love it.
I love how fast you are. You're like, I'm not even double.
This is what he does.
That's what I do,
Yeah, this
baby.
is it.
And if you would like to do it as well, again, spiritsquad.org.
Yes. God, that was amazing. I'll
Yes.
take that. I'll receive that
were
and just
so
marinate
fun.
on that for the week.
Well, I'm trying to marinate on something and receive something this evening. So is this show done?
As a matter of fact, it is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to tune in every Monday at 6:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can find us now on AfterBuzz. We've moved from Black Hollywood Live to AfterBuzz, so make sure to tune in. I'm your host, Jaimi Alexander, and you can find me on Instagram at Jaimi Alexander.
You can find me on Instagram at HeyJ, Instagram and Twitter, HAYJ_.
If you're trying to book a boy, girl, spiritsquad.org, but Bootz with the Z, Tara on all major social media outlets.
We get another round of applause for our guests for tonight's show.
Woohoo! See you guys next week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.